Hello one and all, and welcome to your energy update here on Cymatic TV or on the Astro Flower, depending on which way you're watching it at the moment. Yes, I'm on the line here in the south of France, in the foothills of the Pyrenees, and as you can just well see behind me, it's a little bit of summertime, little bit. There hasn't been a great deal of summertime. The weather's been a bit ups and downs, and there will be videos coming out on that tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, about that sort of fluctuating energy basically, and how it can best serve you, how you can get the best out of it, and what to avoid basically, and how it's all sort of coming about. So at the moment here we're in the we're on this sort of energy line, so we're just going to do a bit of dowsing here to see what's going on with the ley line here. So we're going to dowse out. We're going to go a little bit into the sun, not too much. Going to go a little bit into the sun, see what's going on for that at the moment, talk about that, and we're getting a message from the earth and a chakra sequencing as well. So without further ado, let's just get on into it. Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality. So here we have the sun over the past week. If you look at the top right hand corner, you'll see the KP index, and this is showing the general activity here. It will show you the M flares and the X flares that are being released by the sun. And one thing you might notice is there is a slight uptick, and you can see this when you look at the sun, that there is a patch of solar sunspots that are coming round the corner, which is increasing this general activity. Now, this general activity is a little bit like sort of like the background noise, static electricity that's coming through the system. But there is other things that really should be taken into consideration, because nothing has majorly fired off in our direction of the Earth, and there has not been any X flares, there's not been major M flares, there has been one or two, but nothing really major. The only eruptions that we can see, and you can see this in the bottom right hand screen, is the eruption that came off in the direction of Mercury. Now, Mercury is that communication planet that is in the astrology world, but it is also set behind the earth, so it is in the vibration of the earth, and the sun could be creating a scenario where the message that will be coming through was building up that message. When it gets into alignment with the earth and goes past the earth, that message will be received. So I expect a lot of communication in regards to energy through to the earth and then through to us in the next sort of 2 or 3 weeks. And this seems to be building up that sort of energy or that communication through Mercury. The other thing we should notice here as it comes through the sun on the top right hand side in particular, you can see that dark hole there that's just coming through now, with another one up on the top hand left hand side on the of the sun, and these are actually coronal holes. Now, these coronal holes are much more sort of earth energy um, rather than solar flares, which are mainly air and fire energy. But between these fire and air, and this is where you can see this on the bottom left hand side, which is the sun and the sort of orange yellow, and the top right side, which is the red one, you can see the filament energies that go between the sunspots and the coronal holes. This is the way in which the sun communicates its energy through from one aspect to another, a little bit like the chakra system that we use within our bodies. So coronal holes, as I said, is earth energy, and sunspots is more sort of air and fire. But filament energies is much more sort of water, emotional energies. And this is the conductor or the connector between the physical world and the metaphysical world, the emotions that we experience. And as we go forward, I think this is going to be a little bit more important. One other thing I should mention about the sun, which I think is notable, is that everybody's sort of saying
from what happened in May and in June, when there was a major activity on the sun, where we had a lot of X flares and M flares, and some of them directed in the direction of the Earth. Um, that has sort of calmed down now, and with that corona hole, with those corona holes and those filament energies, it means that the energy is equaling out between all the forces: earth, water, fire, and air. So we're getting an even mix. It's a little bit like the ingredients in a cake, and we're getting the fine balance that is coming through. This is giving us a little bit more consistent energy, and I think this consistent energy is going to be with us for the next 2 to 3 months. I think the sun will then start erupting majorly in the direction of the Earth, and also other directions in September, October, and November time, and that will be the second peak of this solar cycle. And then I think by December we will be on the permanent descent to low solar cycle, where corona holes will become a lot more important. And this will give us as humans a much more and needed respite in the emotional side of life. So it will be easier for us to just get on and do. And this will give us a break in the pole shift energy that's been coming through, that we've seen on the Earth, and we've seen on the sun, and we've seen on every single planet. It will make life just slightly a little bit easier for everybody. But that's not quite there yet. There's still a sort of process that the Earth is going through that we need to follow. And I think it's coming to a climax at the moment. And we'll probably see this a lot easier when we go into the energy line that we will be dowsing and seeing for that message from the Earth and the chakra sequencing. So without further ado, let's just get on into that.
So here we are at the edge of the line. You can see the dowsing rod still, it's trying to pull in slightly, but as we come into it now, here it goes, it kicks in here. We're perpendicular to it pretty much. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. It's about 36 paces wide. And we know we're on a female line, because before there used to be a big lake just here. We got water significations here, and they have got the cloître here, but that actually comes from another church, another abbey, a Cistercian abbey. And this line here, so it's coming through here, pretty much through here, as it flows through here, comes up and it bends round the corner there, and then heads up towards the church, which is just up there. So we're in the northern hemisphere, so it is the heightened part of the energy lines, the ley lines. We're at 36 paces here, and that goes down to approximately around about 12 when we come into the autumn period in September, between September and December. But at the moment it's running at 36 because we're at the height of summer. There's nothing in particular I feel about it. It's quite light, quite Aryan in it all, which is quite nice, but nowhere near as imposing in the way of energy, as I would say, on the crown, on the heart chakra, as what it normally is as a female line. So let's, without further ado, let's just find a pew and we'll get into the message from the Earth and the chakra sequencing. So I'm sat in the shade here. As you can see, I've got the cloître behind me. To that side there, I've got that water. So I'm actually sitting on the line at the moment, and let's just get into a meditation. Let the body slow down. And for this type of meditation, just concentrating on the vertical energy going between the crown and the root chakra. We do that through breathing. Breathe in through the nose, expire through the mouth. I'm smiling because, let me see if I can, it was like a green fly, mayfly. Almost looks like a, like a fairy on my camera. Excuse me, I'll just get back to that. Vertical energies, right, that's the connection going there. Let's just try and see if we can see about the chakra sequencing. Still waiting, it's sort of playing in all the chakras at the moment. Let me just wait till it gets back to its central point. There it is there. So third eye and throat chakra feels a little bit blocked. Goes down to the root, a little bit fiery, that root, and that could have something to do with the polar vortexes that we can see on the videos on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. Goes back up to the crown chakra. Comes down to the sacrum. Back up to the throat and the third eye. Back down to the root, sacrum area really. It's caught between the two, that's quite interesting. And there it comes back to the central point, the governing point before. So the main two things that were coming out of that is the third eye and the throat chakra, which felt a little bit impeded. That's the best probably way to describe it. It doesn't really feel blocked, but it certainly feels impeded. And I think this is because the root chakra and the sacrum, and this could be to do with the logical progression, logical revolution that's sort of been going on for some time, and it's still going to sort of pan out for the next few years within the world. And it could be going back to that. I'm going back to my roots. Yeah. That's what it could well be at the moment. And it's certainly a lot more fiery in that root section, which doesn't really get to. The other interesting point was there was no solar plexus or heart chakra. And as we saw on the earthquakes, there's a little bit around about the heart chakra, but mainly in the sacrum and the solar plexus area really. But there hasn't been a great deal in the activity in the way of earthquakes around the chakra sort of movements. But here I think it's more where the things are really going back to its roots. It's really going back to maybe the southern hemisphere, because the southern solar polar vortex is really, really strong. You know, in the summer solstice or the winter solstice, summer solstice for the northern hemisphere, it's winter solstice for the southern hemisphere, that could have been really vibrant. So you may find in the southern hemisphere you're getting a lot of rain and a lot of winds and storms and that sort of thing coming out of it. But this fiery thing, as I think it's almost as if the earth is really sort of saying, right, I need to get back to, the essentials of being the earth, basically. And this could have a lot to do with the pole shift of the earth trying to find its equilibrium, its balance between the two extremes, which we go into full details into those videos that are coming out Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, let's just see what's going on. Let's just get a message from the earth and see what's coming through there. And we're reconnecting to the vibrations again, the energies. That vertical energy now playing true. I use this line to go to the closest crossing point. That's where we go into the earth. Seems quite wide, which is really good. It's very open. It's good. Well, it's easy for me to get down there. And then once we're down there in the center of the earth, we find the plasma ball, because the center of the earth, there is a plasma ball. It's not molten lava, or molten iron. It's not that. It's a plasma ball. And let's just see what that message that comes in from the earth. Don't try and be like a rock in the river as the river grows and builds. Be flexible and available so you can play to either one force or another within the energies as the world does move from one side to another. And the earth is giving birth to a new constant. And this new constant will take time to come into place. And this giving birth process is almost like a pole shift. As a child is given birth, they come out head first. So there'll be head coming down and then they're inverted. And it feels a little bit like that the earth is having like a menstrual cycle or a birthing process that's coming out of that. And obviously that can play with a lot of the sort of vibrations that the earth is giving out, like it would play with hormones within humans. This can give rise to erratic and extreme weather conditions or geological conditions. It isn't really concerned with the comings and goings of the human being and their own semantics within life, but much more about her balance. And that is what she is looking for. And if you don't want to get swept away or caught up in that sort of energy and taken away from what you should be doing, it'll be a lot easier for you to, like a fish, just get swept from one side to another, and then when it's calm, you can start heading off in the direction that's good for you. And use those swayings in a really good way. She got a message for the human, as it were. Take out, and she's talking to humans, not as an individual here, take out your own importance in the system. I think it's a bit of a warning, really, I think, more than anything else. I think she's sort of saying that there's so many things that are important upon this planet. Trees, animals, humans, chemicals such as oxygen, carbon, methane, all those sort of things that has its own place to play in all of this. And I think, as we've been seeing with the volcanoes here, and I think there's an adjustment that's going on within the atmosphere. And she's sort of saying, don't get wrapped up in your own importance. Join in this evolutionary process. Okay? Let's just bring myself back up out of that crossing point, back down the line, and into the body. Very interesting times. It's a great time to be alive. There is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. It is absolutely beautiful. But I think that whole process of us getting out the way, I think, is really important, of sort of getting over our own self-importance. It's a little bit like getting out of the way of our ego more than anything else. I think that's really important. And within your energies and whatever you do, when you take into account the four agreements of the Toltec, or the 7 steps of the agnostics, of the Emerald tablet, you know, of working with energy, working with vibration, working with frequencies and rhythm, and those sort of things. If we take ourselves out of the equation, it will be much easier for us to actually get the tide that's pushing us in the right direction. We wait there while it slips away. Yes, we take 3 steps forward and 1 step back, and then that vibration will then push us even further on our pathway. As individuals, we can do that, but as a collective, we certainly need to come back to some basic, good, wholesome common sense. Okay? As I said, a lot of these videos will be going over to the amalgamated channel of the Astro Flower, Cymatic TV, and the Energy According to Tom. That's all going to be playing on there in the future. But in the meantime, I'll double post, as it were. Okay? I will speak to you soon. It'd be lovely to see you on those videos on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. We will be doing live readings as well on the Astro Flower section on the Friday night and Saturday night, and also doing a live where it's a roundup of the information on the Sunday night. So I will see you there. It's been absolutely beautiful. Thanking you very much for all your support you give to this channel in any which way you see fit. It's absolutely lovely. In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.